So now that Epstein landed back in our laps like a pharmaceutical CEO in the Oval Office, let's answer two questions. First, what happens next? Do we just stare like Donald Trump standing there watching his life flash before his eyes? 400 tons of fried chicken, 3 failed marriages, and a Russian shower while YMCA plays on the bagpipes? Or are we as a country going to actually do something useful? Then we have to ask ourselves what changes. First, we know Democrats released emails that show Epstein talking about Trump, and almost immediately as a distraction, Republicans released 20,000 documents. One has to imagine if Republicans are willing to release emails where Epstein calls Trump, quote, so gross and says, I know how dirty Donald is, just as a distraction from what they won't share, exactly how much worse does it get? Because this is already not good. We also know with the shutdown ending that Representative Grijalva from Arizona is going to be seated. And when this happens, she will force the final vote on the discharge petition, which when approved will be the House officially demanding the files are released. Now at this point, this might feel like an unstoppable machine. But unfortunately, what almost no one is telling you is that this discharge petition would have to be approved by the Senate with 60 votes. And then to make it worse, Donald Trump would actually have to sign the discharge petition to release it, meaning this whole thing is purely symbolic. But I have to tell you, symbols are powerful. Donald Trump knows this. This is why he's in an absolute tailspin, calling the Republican members of the House who are going to sign the petition, begging them to flip. He's not in a panic because the petition could get released. He'll just veto it. He's in a panic because he knows this is going to cost him his agenda and hopefully his legacy, both of which rely entirely on loyalty from Republicans in the House and the Senate. Which brings me to the second question. What does this change in terms of what we know and should believe about Trump? Nothing. Nothing has changed about Trump since Access Hollywood, because I believe women, and you should too, especially women who are willing to risk their lives to expose crimes by the most powerful people in the country. I don't need to read their names and read all of the horrific details of their attacks just to believe them. And I certainly don't need any more evidence to know that everything I believe to be true about Donald Trump is certainly true. He is everything you can imagine and probably a bunch of things that you can't imagine. But what this changes is that we now get to expose exactly how far Republicans will go to protect Trump and the other people named in those files at the expense of the victims and at the expense of the American people who do deserve answers. So while I don't think we'll see what's in these files until at least 2029, that doesn't mean we should let up. In fact, we should double down. Demand every vote in the House, demand a vote in the Senate, and if we can get 60 senators to agree, force Trump to veto it, because this issue is splitting MAGA and the Republican Party at the seams. The faster we pull the thread, the faster they fail and the harder they fall, clearing the way for justice to prevail.